Dr. TIMI.
Wow, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It's a beautiful day, isn't it? Yes. I call some Saturdays for sisters to gather.
Yes.
And you know why it caused us to gather this morning like this a lot? Try to put everybody together in the house before you step out.
Yeah.
And even right now you are here, you know that very soon they'll start calling your phone. And so we are even out, but we know we are actually not out. We are here right now, but your mind is still, okay, this one's supposed to do this, this one's supposed to do that. You know, that's us, that's women, that's our life, and it's amazing. It's amazing, and many times we wonder really, is this how we're going to continue? Sometimes you wake up and you're like, so how old am I now? Probably I'm just 40. Okay, so probably I still have like 60 years to live. So is this how I'm going to spend the rest of my life? You know, we wake up with those questions in our hearts. Oh, okay, so you are even just 30. And so you're saying, so if I live till 100, I still have 70 years to live. And then I'm wondering, is this all I'm going to be doing for the next 70 years, 50 years, 60 years? It's a big deal. It's a whole lot of deal. But that's why we are gathered this morning, so that we can encourage one another, so that we can hold one another on this journey. There's a lot that comes from emotional support. If we get it, then we can write more. Okay? And so, I have come in this morning, not because I'm better than any of us at all. Not because oh no, she doesn't have struggles, you know, because she's a psychologist, she's Dr. TIMI, also she got it all together. Wow. I've come in this morning, majorly also as one of the soldiers of God, as you and I are on this journey towards Calvary, and still saying, put one another up, hold one another up, even as we go back. So thank you again for having me around. And I trust that the time we'll be spending together will be worthwhile, and it will be healing for us, it will be prosperity for us, it will be clarity. Some of us need clarity about some things. Healing is a process. For some of us it takes years. Okay? I've been on my journey of healing for years. And even till date, I keep saying it, I'm seeing healing. Because sometimes some part of my wounds are touched, and then again I feel the pain. Yes, very normal for you. And then you feel it again like, oh my goodness, I thought I've healed. Yes, you have, because it's a process. Okay? But the moment now is an opportunity for you again to encounter the healer all over again. So, I have been asked to talk to us about recovery, particularly from marital abuse, low self-esteem, and trauma. Recovery from marital abuse, trauma, low self-esteem. So I'm speaking on recovery from emotional abuse, spousal abuse, trauma, as well as low self-esteem. I usually ask for a particular story or a biblical character that God wants to use every time to depict His message to us. And for this particular meeting, the story He gave me is the story of Nabal, the wife of Nabal. Do we know her? Do we remember that woman? The wife of Nabal. Who remembers her? Ah. Let me hear. Abigail, thank you. Yes, you remember that story of this man, of this woman who is married to this man who is so full of himself. This man that was so arrogant and so ready to risk the whole family life. The story had gone on and on. But let's quickly just see. Let me just take some scripture there and read it out to us, and then explain the story, and then we'll go into the full session. So 1 Samuel chapter 25. I'm going to quickly read the story one by one. It's a long story, but just go with me if you have your Bible there with you. 1 Samuel chapter 25, I'm reading from verse 2. Now there was a man in Mahon whose business was in Carmel, and the man was very rich. He had 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats, and was receiving his sheep in Carmel. The name of this man was Nabal, and the name of his wife Abigail. And she was a woman of good understanding and beautiful appearance. But the man was harsh and evil in his doing. He was from the house of Caleb. I want you to pick some words specifically, because you'll be amazed that whatever it is that your journey is, your peculiarity is there. It's there in the scripture. This is a very beautiful woman, fantastic. She has good understanding. Do you know what that means? For a woman to have good understanding, that means she's accommodating, enduring, amiable. She can be tolerant, highly tolerant. But when a tolerant woman gets into a marriage with a harsh man, when your patience level gets to the essence that you see yourself doing some things, if they told you when you were 16 years old, you will say, I can never do this. But you see yourself years down the line, that you become the Margaret Thatcher that you thought you can never be. You see yourself fighting battles, you are wondering, this is not me. Let's go on. When David heard in the wilderness that Nabal was shearing his sheep, David sent 10 men. And David said to the young men, and at that time, please note, David was in trouble. David was running away from the people who wanted to kill him in his own kingdom. So it was a bit more like a vagabond king. Okay? So he had his own soldiers who were going with him, but they lodge in different places. They hang around. And usually, because he's a warrior, many times communities have heard about him. They know about this displaced king who is still so powerful. Okay? So if he comes asking for something, some people will give him, because they also understand that his battle also has to do with the fact that Saul wanted him dead. That's the king of Israel. Yes. So now David was this Baba going around without food and all of that, and he heard about this rich man. Remember, Nabal was a rich man. They said he had over 3,000 sheep as at that time. So you know he's a very, very rich man. So David sent a message that I heard about this rich man. Please, you 10 guys who are meeting, tell him that we are passing by and we might need some food, just a little. Maybe just a little. Let's go on so that you see. If you're dealing with men who don't listen to any other person, whom you can't say, okay, this is the person that can help us talk to him, you're not alone. His servants were the one who was saying it as his people, the close animal, saying, he will not listen to anybody. Then Abigail made haste, that's the wife now, and took 200 loaves of bread, 2 skins of wine, 5 sheep already dressed, 5 sticks of roasted grain, 100 clusters of grains, raisins, and 200 cakes of meat, and loaded them on donkeys. And she said to her servants, go on before me, see, I am coming after you. But she did not tell her husband Nabal. She did not tell her husband Nabal. So what did she do? So it was as she rode on the donkey that she went down under covers of the hill. And there was David and his men coming down towards her, and she met them. Now David has said, surely in vain I have protected all that this fellow has in the wilderness, so that nothing was missed of all that belongs to him. And he has repaid me evil for good. May God do so and more also to the enemies of David. If I leave one male of all who belongs to him by money loans. David was determined to kill every single one who meets in that man's house. He said that God should do worse things. He was even cursing himself. You know when someone has put himself on a curse? That if I do not destroy, if I leave one single man, male, whether child or grown up, in that man's house by morning time, he has placed himself on the cross, so that means he must do it. And there is a power that goes beyond, and that's why we keep saying that to every fool there is a queen, and to every king there's also a queen. Every single man, whether he's a stupid one or an intelligent one, there's a woman who just needs to understand how to twerk it and how it works. So now when Abigail saw David, she dismounted quickly. In fact, you can even imagine how this woman has been living with Nabal. It shows indeed that she's a woman of understanding. For her to have been able to stay that long with this man, it shows indeed, even if the world did not recognize it, even if the world did not count it something tangible, the reality stands that this woman had sacrificed a lot to live with this man. And so what did she do? She saw David, she dismounted quickly from the donkey, fell on her face before David, bowed down to the ground. She fell at his feet and said, oh me, my Lord, on me, just only me. Let this iniquity be, and please let your maidservant speak in your ears, and hear the words of your maidservant. Please, let not my Lord regard this scoundrel, Nabal, for as his name is, so he is. Nabal is his name, and fully is with him. But I, your maidservant, did not see the young men of my Lord whom he sent. Now therefore, my Lord, as the Lord lives, and as your soul lives, since the Lord has held you back from coming to bloodshed, and from avenging yourself with your own hand. Can you see toasting? She was pleading and begging this man, dancing to and fro. Please, he's a fool, this man. She even might, in case those words do not work, she then tried to prevail on his own emotions, his relationship with God, telling him, so that you will not have bloodshed on your hand, so that this man will not make you commit more sin, so that, and now then, let your enemies and those who seek harm for my Lord as Nabal. And now this present which your maidservant has brought to you, my Lord, let it be given to the young men who followed you. Please forgive the trespass of your maidservant. She took on his misgiving. She said, please forgive the trespass of your maidservant, for the Lord will certainly make for my Lord an enduring house. Because my Lord fight the battles of the Lord, and evil is not found in you throughout your days. She went on and on. She even said, but when the Lord has dealt well with you, my Lord, when the Lord has dealt well with you, my Lord, remember your maidservant. Now, do you want to know? Not only did David listen to this woman, if you go on to verse 32, 33, 34, you will see how David blessed her and thanked her for saving him from committing an offense. But you see, the amazing part of this was that she...
AUX 模式
The amazing part was that she had finished this encounter with David, went back to her house, to that foolish husband of ours, okay, and had continued her life. But something was going to happen. In as much as it seemed as if she was there, she never knew when liberation would come. She never knew when she would be free of this foolish man that she's married to. She was determined to take her faith as it is. She didn't offer to say, oh man, I will go with you. No. She went back even to her husband. She said to him, only the fist, she went back to that same house. You would have thought that some people, why will you even go back? She went back there and she had stayed there until the time. Thank you, sir. Everybody can hear me now. Oh, okay, places. Okay, so she had gone back home, and amazingly, many of us are still in that state also. We're in that state when you know that you are in pain. You are in that state when you know that you are in a marriage or in a situation that is tricky. You know know beyond everything that what you can't even share with another person is so strong for you. You know, just like Abigail knew that she was married to a fool. You know that you're probably in the wrong place, but yet you are stuck there. Yet it seems as if, when would freedom come? It looks as if, is this what I'll continue to do for the rest of my life? Now I have come here to say to you, no one is keeping you bound. The state of freedom is the state of our hearts. Everyone desires freedom. Many of us are walking around on the road. We look free, with good makeup, good cars, good dresses, but the truth is we're not free. We are not free. I was driving along recently and I saw a lady being chocolate driven. That means a driver was driving and she sat at the back of the car and she sat there in traffic, we're in traffic. And that car was just by my car. I was even driving and I looked at that side and I saw this woman sobbing. Of course, all the windows up. The driver was there. I'm sure the man just faced his own steering like, and this woman was sobbing. A very big, elegant car, you needed to see. For you to know that many of us are actually looking free outside, but we're not free within. We're not free. But freedom is something we all desire. Unfortunately, it's not just the marriage that is giving us change, and that is where the game changer is going to come for us today. Amen. That is where the understanding and liberation is going to come. Because the marriage or the situation you find yourself in today is just a compilation of the issues. Most of the time, what we are chained to is we are chained to past things. We are chained to past abuse, past issues that have happened in our life. And then coming into this marriage, this man who is also a weakling in his own space, we end up repeating the cycle again. You might believe God is the answer. You might have prayed, you might have held on to Him, but you might still find that you can't just seem to move on. You might still find out that you're still in that space where it seems, is it that God is not hearing? Is it that God is not listening? The truth is this: God's salvation is immediate. Transformation, healing is a process. A process takes time. And this is one reality we need to come into. To understand that our journeys differ, our timings also differs. Another lady shared her experience with me, and I was talking about this marriage that they were both spiritual. Both of them, we even knew them. I know them also. Gym, and then married. And then a few months into the marriage, the husband said, "You know what? I just didn't realize that I really do not love you." And so they've been married for almost 7 years. They've been living together, they go out together. But when they get inside the house, they are total strangers. They share different beds. The man sleeps in the living room. They have 2 kids. Out of their 2 kids, the woman said she literally raped to have those 2 kids because the man doesn't sleep with her. How did I get here? Another part of the question you also might be having is, I thought my past was the past. Is my past haunting me? A woman shared her experience with me and talked about how rough she had had it. She even had a man, because the struggle to get married and find a man, she had had a man who was a married man who had tried dating her, and she had said no, and then she had finally met this man who was to be her husband later on, and in between, during the courtship time, they had challenges. Okay, so they separated, maybe like periodic, it happens, you understand, where like a month or something, they probably even thought, yes, giving each other a break. And then this break ended up with this woman going back to that first man, who was a former lover, you understand? She had sex with him, and of course, I think she became like, oh no, this is wrong, I shouldn't be doing this because this guy is even married, and all of that. And then when she came back with her spouse, that's fiancé to be, and the husband to be, she in all sincerity of her, she had confessed that, you know, that time when we're not together, I actually had this experience. And they had gone ahead with the marriage. Years down to the marriage, the husband keeps talking about this experience. You this cheat, you this cheat, you that you go and sleep with somebody else's husband, you that you just had 1 week or 2 week break, you're already jumping around. How can I know, or how can I be assured that you will not be? I thought the past was in the past. That was what she kept repeating. She said, I thought when God said he has forgiven me, I'm forgiving, and that is it. Another one is that you might be saying or thinking, my own experience wasn't bad compared to others. And so if Sister Labaja comes now, probably Sister Kelly comes and shares her whole story now, my own is not bad, so I shouldn't even be talking about my own. The reality is this, and that's why we're talking about trauma today, so that you will understand there is no small pain. There is no small pain. Nothing quantifies pain. I said this one is small, this one is big. Oh, if your husband is beating you, that's when you should be pained. If your husband is ignoring you, it's less painful. Who says? Who says? Thank you, sir. Emotional abuse is as painful as physical abuse.
That's right.
The fact that the man is not even talking to you in the house, or not eating your food, not sleeping on your bed with you, or avoiding you, is even sometimes much painful than when he slaps you. So someone is telling you your own problem is not big, or you are thinking in your mind, no, actually, I can't be complaining now. Everybody will say, Shebi, you have a car, you have this, don't talk. No. It doesn't work with that when we're talking trauma. And I will explain what trauma really is to us. There's no minor issue, that's what I'm explaining. And I'm explaining to you that all of these things are myth. And I'm also explaining to you the reality that the same way our physical body feels pain, the same way our heart feels pained. You agree with me that the human is made of 3 things, right?
Yeah.
What is it? Body, spirit, and soul. Good. Now, amazingly, when anything is wrong with our body, you're feeling some pains, you're uncomfortable, what do? Who do you go to for help? The doctors. You believe them? And oftentimes they help out, yes? They give them medications or they tell you things to do that could relieve the physical pain, spiritual pains. When you have struggle spiritually, who do you go to? Pastors. They become the right hand. Pastor, this is what I'm fearing, though. Hey, maybe there's a curse. Please pray for me. Hey, maybe this. I'm having bad dreams. Abby? They are the ones who go through. Or you feel that you are not spiritual enough, or maybe they just have a way of running to our pastors. When your soul is pained, when your soul is burdened, who do you go to? Okay, let me even ask first. Where is your soul? Is it the soul? Is it the soul therapist? Let me ask us first, because this is amazing. Now you see what we're saying. You know who to go to when you're having physical pain. You know what to do when you're having spiritual pains. But when you're having emotional pains, you don't even know where it is coming from. You don't even know where to get helped. You don't even know what to do. And that's where the challenges come from. So I'm asking, where is your soul? The mind. Okay, so where is it positioned in our body? It's here. Somebody also said here. Anyway, if you say here or here, you are correct. Okay? Because whatever the case may be, our mind, and that's probably why you hear them say the soul of the matter, the core of the matter, the heart of the matter, okay? He's just talking about our emotions. Unfortunately, many of us are emotionally wounded. We are dragging around like with our wounds, but we thought that we can go on better. It's so sad how much is going on out there. And then when I explain to people that the same way, if I come here now and I hit my leg on this leg turn here, ouch, it's going to be painful. I'm going to probably cry, okay? The same way when my heart is broken. If I sometimes, okay, let me ask this question again. This year you have cried. This year you have cried. Let me see your hand. You have shed tears. Let me see your hand. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. No, keep your hands up, keep your hands up. Okay. That crying that you cried this year was because somebody beat you. Keep your hand up. So we're shedding tears without being beaten. Now you understand.
Yeah.
Sometimes our emotions is painful, even more than physical pains. Even much more than somebody flogging you. And that's why we are paying attention to our emotions going forward, to what we call our mental health. The moment we don't have it together, we are done for. A young woman had come into my office once and she had talked about, she said, I think I'm losing it. And I said, I understand. She said, it's so bad that she's in the house alone, she's having panic attack, I don't even know what to expect next, I don't even know what will happen next. And I said to her, when we get to the place of calmness and peace within, the world will succumb under us. It's amazing how powerful our emotions are. The moment we can be in charge of our emotions, the moment we can be in charge of that space, you would be amazed how you control so many things that happens around you. That was the story of Abigail. That was a woman who was composed emotionally. When the guy came to tell her that, see, they are coming to destroy us, many other women will have panicked. Many other women will have been afraid. That's what many women will have done. In fact, some would have gone into their corner of their room crying and weeping and waiting for the death. Or some would have gone back to the man to shout, foolish man, see what you have cost us. But the woman was emotionally balanced enough to know that I need to think fast, think of the way out of this mess for us. And that was a big deal. So, what am I saying? Pain is pain. Pain is pain, irrespective of whether it's physical, emotional, or spiritual. Pain is pain. Let me hear her say that. Pain is pain.
Pain is pain.
Say it to your neighbor.
Pain is pain.
And no pain is too small.
And no pain is too small.
Oh, you need to let her know. Say it to her again that no pain is too small. Do you know also that research even tells us that the experiences we had as children ends up affecting us even as adults? There's something we call ACE, Adverse Childhood Experiences. Adverse Childhood Experiences says if you have ever encountered any of this traumatic experience as a child, your brain will computerize it, your brain will store it, and it will repeat itself even in adulthood. For example, if you were ever abused as a child, whether sexual, physical, emotional, or whatever, it did not go with your childhood. You might think, oh, Shibi, I'm an adult now. So that means it's gone, it's not there. It's still very much there. If you ever lost a parent as a child, maybe you had to live with a single parent, or maybe if your parent died, you had to live as an orphan, it has its own place for you even as an adult. If you ever were abandoned or had a sense of abandonment, or neglect from parents or caregivers, it has a place for you as an adult. You thought you buried it, you thought you dealt with it, but you find yourself struggling with anger issues. Your wound is thinking. You find yourself struggling with self-esteem. Your wound is thinking. It's there. You didn't let it heal. You covered it up. You moved on, like many of us says. And I've come here to let you know today that time does not heal wound. It's a myth. Time doesn't. Oh, it happened years ago. So I've moved on. Your mind has mastered it. Your unconsciousness has taken it in. And it's there in your programming. That is why sometimes you find yourself reacting some ways to some places that you will be shocked. Even you yourself be like, I didn't expect I would do that. But there's an inner hunger that makes you do those things, even when you least expect. And that's why today I want us to become deliberate about our pains, about our past, about our abuses, particularly abuse. Abuse is one of the major links to trauma. What do we call abuse? Abuse simply means the misuse of a thing. When something is not used the way it should be used, then an abuse has occurred. If I'm married, my husband and I are supposed to be one before God, right? The moment there is a third person or there is a sense of somebody else, that means an abuse has occurred. Are you getting me now? So abuse is not only what you think is an abuse. Abuse is the moment something is being misused. The purpose of this union is this, and then the purpose is forfeited. It's not working out that way, then an abuse has occurred. Abuse goes on even further down to when we're children. And so many times I say to women, did you find out that you were abused as a child? Some of us never even knew you were abused. Because of the things that happened to you, you thought it's normal. Oh, some will say, but there was no penetration. And since they didn't penetrate, it didn't, so I was not abused. Since you still married as a virgin, it doesn't matter. I had a young bride who had come into session because her husband and I had been married for months and they couldn't have sex. And so they had been referred to come over for sex therapy. And in session, this woman, okay, so were you ever abused? No. Did anything ever happen to you? No. Did you see somebody being raped? No. Were you raped? No. Okay, so what gets you frigid? She couldn't place it until I had to do a mindfulness exercise for her. And through that mindfulness exercise, was able to bring her back to her childhood. And then she remembered. When she was around the age of 8 years, 8, 9, thereabout, they had the dad's driver lives at their BQ. You know, some of us who grew up with BQ, and now we have uncles and some people who live there. They are not really family members. So the dad's driver lived behind at their BQ. She said herself and her younger brother, about 7-year-old brother, they usually goes to peep when this man is watching a movie in his apartment. And so on this particular day, they had gone there, peeping, as usual. And as they were peeping, watching, what is he watching? The man saw them. When the man saw them, the man came out and called them over. That, oh, you these little children, you want to see Abby? Why are you hiding? Come inside. He had dragged them into his room, sat them down, and made them to face the screen. He was watching blue film, pure blue film. All green, everything you can imagine was ongoing in there. And the lady said she can even recollect that some of the scenes could be so disgusting, you know, for little children. And then she would try, and the man would push their face. I said, she really want to see. Be looking. Be looking. You must see, oh. And that was it. That was it. Just being made to see exotic pornographic video abused her psyche about sex and affected her over 20 years later in marriage. Now you see what I mean? When I explain that it's not only penetration that is an abuse. Abuse is also when you show pornographic pictures to children or to anyone, or when someone feels uncomfortable. A young lady shared her own experience with me also. Her mom had her family, she said it's an Igbo family, and so they had people who come from the village to work for her dad, because her dad had a workshop and all of that. And so she had some of these people had come from the village to work with them. And then she said, over time, one of them, she just noticed that as she's passing, she was a young girl, she said she was probably like 15 or 16 when it happens. And then as she's passing, this guy will just flash her. Flash her means that he's actually naked, wears an overall, and waits at the corner for her, and then suddenly just remove so that she could see his erected penis. He didn't touch her, remember? He even stays far from her. But every time, of course, other time when he doesn't do that, their eyes catches, he signals to her like, you and I know something other people don't know. It kept on going till the day she couldn't take it anymore. she went to tell her mom that this uncle, he would just suddenly remove his trouser. He would just suddenly open his chest. You know, he was doing things like that to her. And the mom, in response, I said, instead of attacking the man, she attacked her. The man went on to teach her the lesson of her life so that when she sees sex next time, she will run. And yes, she did that for years. Mom put pepper in her vagina. The mom flogged her. The mom told her everything, that she should not be seeing a man's, as if she was the one putting the man on the road. Abuse. Many of us also had our own stories of abuse. I was a victim of abuse myself. Many of us had, and the core thing which I need us to understand is that you need to admit yourself that something was done to you that was wrong. It's unfortunate how many of us take responsibility for our abuse. Say, I'm at fault. I'm sure I caused it. Yes, I felt that way too for years. In fact, mine was even bad because my abuser had said that my eyes, one of my abusers anyway, had said my eyes were seducing him, as in seducing him. I was a young girl of 12. So I want to know what a 12-year-old girl, and of course, it's because as an adult now, after 4 children and life, this is the flesh you're seeing. Of course, you can imagine I was as a young child. I was very thin and tall and just straight like that. I said, yet you're saying that this girl's eyes were seducing you. And so for years, I believed it. Even after the abuse had stopped, even when I became an adult, low self-esteem came in. Because you feel that you are not causing it. It's because you looked at them and then your eyes pulled them to you. And I remember also years ago, see, abuse is in different forms. But you need to admit that those things that happened to you shouldn't have happened. You need to admit that it has affected your psyche one way or the other. As a young girl in primary school, I still remember how one of my teachers picked on me and nobody could do anything to stop it. Abuse. Psychological, emotional abuse. Many of us have gone through some of those things, and that's the point I'm explaining. And you know what is bad about this experience, especially abuse, is that abuse is transgenerational. You don't deal with it, you think you have moved on, then it goes on again to your kids. And you see, most of our parents, some of you remember the struggle they fought with you, even before you married the man you married, or even when we're having relationships. Maybe the pressure they were putting on you was so much, and the next available man you saw, you just picked. But the truth is this, you might need to ask your mom and find out what her home story was. Usually. And that's why you need to deal with your own pain. You can't put it under the carpet. You can't deal with it the way our parents dealt with their own. How did they deal with it? They would rather call you and be telling you, well, I can't go you just get pregnant. Your life will just scatter. As in, they want to prevent you from following or having mistakes they made. But you know what they are doing? They're actually triggering your brain to go ahead and make the same mistakes. And that's why many of us made the same mistakes. Another funny way to see it also, when you say, I don't want to marry a man like my father, what usually happens? The woman marries a man even worse than her father. It's a psyche, it's a continuous generational link of abuse. And that's why we need to nip it. We need to get to the point where you deliberately honor. It's amazing many times when I meet women, and some people goes on to explain that they've never shared it before. I met a young lady recently, was telling me a story. She said she knew that when she was young, as a young girl, she had this lesbianism thing with maid, their house girl, okay? And that they did it up to when she was even in secondary school. And that even when she was in secondary school, she remembered that she still had, like, now started having sexual encounter by herself with other girls, okay? And that it was gone. But then now she's married, she's okay, it doesn't come, she's not having the urge, but the thought keeps coming to her. And I told her, so what did you do? She said, I thought it's gone. I said, no. The pain of abuse doesn't go. You have to deal with it. You have to deal with it. I am standing in front of you, and that's what I'm saying to you. That if I can stand in front of you, if I can be a product of grace and healing, you also can be. I was abused. My first encounter with sex was when I was at the age of 7. Okay? And In my house are pastors, they are all missionaries, they are ministers. It's a house full of pastors. All my abusers, all my life were Christians and pastors. They were not lay people. They were not ordinary fellowship members. They were leaders in the church. And so I understand the place of people as a young girl begging and pleading with a man of God, and the man of God is telling you, I carry grace. And the man of God is telling you, don't worry, my own grace has forgiven you, as in the forgiveness is from me over to you. And on that place of you sitting in service and the person is coming to minister and you are thinking of what's going to happen tonight again. I understand all of that. And it was a point, I remember begging God and pleading with God. Begging, in fact, I remember nights of going naked. Saying, God, if you exist, just make him not to come. Because he will come again. The wife is there. He's even in the same house, I'll be begging him. Do you know mommy is in the, no, it doesn't work. And then, finally, I remembered going into school, the terrible experiences, and I'm talking about generational continuity or cycle of abuse. Even in school, the teacher starts abusing you because an abuse has occurred. The moment has occurred before the cycle continues. And that's why some of us are still in marriages and the abuse is continuing. Because you have not dealt with that abuse, with that pain. That's why it's continuing. Because everywhere you get to, you are carrying it on your forehead already. Victim, 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 victim. And so abusers automatically pick on you easily. They know you are struggling with low self-esteem. They know you don't have what it takes to defend yourself. They know you feel already that I don't have anybody to defend me. And that's why it's easy to pick on you. But that was my story. I moved on. I remember the first time I tried to take my life. I think I was probably around 15 years at that time. I couldn't take it anymore. I felt I just needed to end it all. But yeah, I didn't die. I tried again when I was a bit older. I think at that time I was about to leave school. I remembered having a terrible experience whereby one of my boyfriend had taught, because a friend was telling me, tell this guy he's older, he can help you out, to put a stop to the one going on with my guardian and all of that and all of that. And then the guy too has reacted and said, oh, I thought I was keeping you for myself. I didn't know somebody has been. And so he raped me in his own room there. And still, yes, I had to pack myself and come out. And I had to still go out. And I still remember my friend going there to fight for me. And I remembered clearly, I was crying and sobbing on that particular day. And my friend was hugging me and begging me and telling me it's going to be fine. And I kept saying it's not going to be fine. Nothing is going to be fine. I'm just messed up. I'm just terrible. And we started kissing. And that began my journey to lesbianism. And that was a journey for several years again. The journey, a life of hell, a life of frustration, where you have secrets that you can't even, you dare not let people know that you are struggling with this. Addiction. I know what it means. Struggling with masturbation, struggling with porn, struggling with things that a woman sent me a message recently about the fact that she's married. She's been married for years, but she realizes she doesn't get any interest or anything except she masturbates. And so the struggle continues. I remembered until the point when I left Christianity, when I left the church, when I decided I didn't want to have anything to do with God again, when I decided that God doesn't love me, so I don't love him, I just want to be. And I started living my life the way I thought was best for me. That is what abuse can do. Abuse is what births addictions. You are wondering how come you're struggling with masturbation. You are wondering how come you can't do without watching porn. It's because your mind has been wounded. There's a wound inside of you. And the way the body is wired, we are not wired to stay in the place of pain. So the moment you are in that place of pain, your body, your mind automatically will be looking for relief. And so if it finds relief through any of this behavior, you adopt that behavior. It's the continuity of that behavior we now call addiction. Because that behavior begins to control you. But this is what we're saying, that all of us, whether you are a victim of abuse, going on to give you trauma, that's inner wound, and then going on to form an addiction in your life that you're struggling with. A husband told me about his wife. He said, my wife masturbates in her sleep. I said, are you monitoring her? But the reality is this. The more acting out your addiction is, the more acting out your pain is. Because you act out your pain. It's just that we have to start in different ways. Some people act out their pain by picking an addiction, a behavior. Some people act out their pain by being with anger. Okay? Some people act out their pain by, in fact, one of the ways you see, when you see young girls who you probably think, she got pregnant today, and she's not married, and so you're expecting that she should know better. But next year, you hear that she has taken in again. Acting out. Many times we act out our pains. But then I have come to let you know that God has heard your cry.
Amen.
God heard my cry repeatedly. Even when I didn't know He was listening. Even when I said and concluded that God doesn't listen. Even when I had said, I'm sure God does not. He has His own people. He picks the ones He likes. He knows how to take care of some people and abandon the rest of us. Even at that time, God was saying, I am there with you. Your pain is there. Is the reason why that thing that happened to you didn't take your life. You were raped, Abby. Some other girls were raped. Some women were raped and they died. Do you know that? Oh, you had abortion, Abby. Oh, some people had abortions and they died. Eh? Oh, which one is yours? Oh, you suffered, Abby. You were on the streets. Your father didn't care for you. Your mother sent you out. You ended up being on the road. Is that your pain? Some people ended up on the road. The same day they ended up on the road, car hit them, they died. Some they did not, car did not hit them. Police carried them with rubber guns. They ended up in prisons. You need to go and see some other people. You need to know that no matter how bad yours is, God was there with you. God was the one that didn't make it bad more than that bad it was. That was my reality. That was the point I had to come into. I can't tell you the whole of my life story today because time will not allow me. But I want you to know that if I can, if God can pick me out of the mess of my life and begin to reform me and begin to give me this assignment of taking the gospel of healing to His own daughters, then He has a purpose for your pain. But unfortunately, except you stand up to it, except you decide and say, enough is enough. Except you say to yourself, no more self-pitying. Enough of sitting down and lamenting in the situation I found myself. Enough is enough. And then the first thing you can do on this journey of recovery is first of all to detach yourself from the pain you're going through. Your pain doesn't define you. It doesn't. Oh, so your marriage is not happy. Does that make you an unhappy person? No. Oh, because the man does not love you or is not acting good to you, does that make you a bad person? No. Oh, does it make you less spiritual? No. Your pain doesn't define you. It's the world that defines you, but you have to define yourself. You are who you say you are. I've shared my story in big places. I've gone outside the country to share my experiences. I've had press guys come over and say, okay, interview session. And then, madam, hey, so you were a lesbian. Or you are a lesbian. And I say to them, no. I struggle with lesbianism. I struggle with masturbation. I struggle with sexual challenges. It doesn't make me one. Hey. I am not my struggle. And you need to stand in that space first of self-identity. See the way God sees you. That's the first step to recovery. Until you begin, and the only way you can do it is in scripture. You need to go and start searching. What did God say about me? What did He say? You know, one of the things I did, I remember getting an exercise book. During my journey of healing, I had this big exercise book, and I was writing everywhere I saw in the scripture, I love you. If you see that, you'll be amazed. I started writing out from Genesis to Revelation. Everywhere God used direct word of I love you, I found them. I started taking them. Isaiah 41:3 stands with me anytime. Oh, Isaiah 60 stands with me. He says, because I have loved you. Let's check it so that you understand what I'm saying. You need to find your identity. Because beyond what man will say to you, verse 1, but now thus says the Lord who created you, O Jacob, and He who formed you, O Israel. He who formed you, O Israel. That whole Israel, I changed it. Even in my Bible, even in this one. All my Bibles, I always change it. I put my name. And you say, even in this. All my Bible, all my life. So I say, but now that is the Lord who created you, O TIMI, and he who formed you, O TIMI. Fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by your name. You are mine.
Hallelujah.
When God has called us, another version says, because I have loved you. Before all of the mess we ever find ourselves, God loved us. The one thing the enemy wants to let us believe over the years is that he doesn't care. That God doesn't care about our pains. He cares. You know why I know? Because if you now look at this recovery journey, you will see what it means. Because at the end of your recovery, the purpose is always that your pain is not yours. Jesus didn't go to the cross to save himself. Jesus didn't experience the pain to liberate himself. He was already liberated. Jesus went through the pain because of you and I. You are going through your pain, whether marital pain, whether financial pain, whether whatever form of pain you are going through, not because of you, but because of somebody else. That's the dynamism of God. I don't know why he does it. I don't know how he does it, but that's how he does his thing. It makes you go through it. A woman was explaining to me recently a passion for widows. And then one day, finally, she got a call, her husband is dead. And then she started crying with God. I said, God. And God said, because I saw that you are not taking that thing seriously. So you need to feel the pain. And that's what I'm telling you. See, there are some things we cannot question. She said, God told her so that you will feel the pain of those people I have called you to. Your experience is for you to feel the pain. So if you refuse to feel it, if you start deadening that pain, you keep saying it didn't happen, it didn't matter, it didn't happen. Whatever you've been through, the more you deaden it, the more you are neglecting an assignment God has called you into. So take up your pain again. Go and open it up. Open those wounds. Let's start cleaning it afresh. And then the second one, always, and that's why I said, take up your pain again. What do you do with it? Track your first experience. When was the first time this thing ever happened to you? Oh, someone is abusive. You have an abusive person, they keep abusing you. When was the first time you can remember in your life that someone used negative words for you? Because that time was what informed you. Grieve your loss. That's another thing you should do. Every abuse, everything in our past takes something from us. Whether it's an abusive marriage you are in, it's painful, it's bad, it's terrible. You have every right to cry over it. Don't let someone tell you your pain is too small. Identify the negative thoughts and self-sabotaging statements. And that's why I said you are not your struggle. Don't join the world to say, I'm addicted to pornography. Who says? It's a struggle. A struggle is not you. Okay? So please don't use those words to define you. Forgive your abuser. That's another step. Forgive your abusers. Forgive yourself. Because some of us, you feel that you caused it. Or you were told. Like a woman told me her own experience. She's an adult who had gone to look for a house and had gotten, what they call them, all these agents to take her. And they told her they found the house and they took her to the house. And they entered the house. And while she was still looking around in the room, the man pushed down the floor there and raped her. Yes. She was crying. She said, I was not raped at 15, 16, 17 by me. A 30-something years old woman. She said, maybe I should have not gone alone. Maybe I should have called somebody. Self-blame. Many of us are good at that. You start blaming yourself. But I've come to tell you today, it doesn't matter if you think you were at fault. No. Because there were some forces that were working against you that was not even in your control. And so I want you to drop the self-blame today. Drop it. Say, I am not at fault.
I'm not at fault.
I'm not my abuser.
I'm not my abuser.
I didn't make my abuser do what he did to me.
I didn't make my abuser do what he did to me.
That's who you are. God's own daughter. Track your triggers. That's another thing. Track your triggers. Track it. At what point do you usually feel that sadness? At what point do you usually know that I feel worthless? Is it when they talk to you anyhow? What is it exactly that makes you know you are feeling that pain again? And of course, get accountability. What that means is you can't go on this journey of recovery alone. You can't go on this alone. But myself and Pastor Mrs. were talking the other time, and she was explaining how some of us feel that I don't need to talk to somebody. See, God didn't create us in isolation. There's a place of expressing or sharing your pain. But the reality is this: you cannot afford to share your pain with just anybody. Now that's the reality. Because if they don't use it against you, and that's another big trauma again, all over. Okay? And that's why now you need to know that there are help available. There are professional counselors available. I had chosen the path of counseling. I took that path when God called me years ago, and I had to go into school to start learning it afresh. I left what I studied initially to go and start learning about human mind and how to help people heal. Because my core is healing. And there are so many other people like myself. It's not just me. But you need to find them. You need to get out of your comfort space and look for help. You need to get helped. Do we get my point? And that's it. And then plan to rise and fall again. Your recovery is not automatic. And that's why I explained to us earlier, I said salvation is instantaneous, but healing, recovery, is a process. So you might find yourself fumbling again, and then you find yourself in that space where you are just unhappy. It seems as if I'm unhappy again, but you just need to say to yourself, no, my happiness is in my hand. I determine what happens to me. It doesn't matter what I'm seeing, I just need to focus on myself and get my happiness from within. Confront your fears, please. Confront your fears. Confront your fears. That's another thing. How do you respond to the things you are afraid about? Because most of the time, your fears happens to you. Paul said, the things I fear most are befalling me. If you're afraid that your marriage will crash, then sorry, it will crash. But if you stand up and say, okay, even if this is my reality, even this is the things I see, it says to us, it says, beyond what we see is what we also believe. And that's why I explained to you also the body, the spirit, and the soul. The three of them are important. So we are not moved, we are not humans of what we see alone. So if my reality is saying this, I just need to get helped, and I need to stand on the ground that I know this is what I want, this is what I have. And you get what you want. But if you allow your fears take over. And some of us are in that space. Some have not even gotten married. I've met young ladies who are saying to me they are afraid that they are married in place. You have not even married. You have not even seen the husband. Confront your fears. And of course, like I always say the last, use your pain to heal other people. Use your pain to heal other people. Use your pain to heal other people. Healing is your choice. That's what I've come to say to you today. I can't teach you how to get healed on the spot, but I can say to you there's a healer, and I can say to you there's a balm in Gilead. If God will heal me, if God will give me this journey to stand before you today. Remember I told you earlier, I'm not better off than any of us. I am same with you in so many ways. Bro, our journeys might differ. Your experience could be worse than mine, okay? But if I can stand today and still show my face among Christians and still say I'm a child of God, it doesn't matter what yours is. God has a purpose for your pain. I want us to get up on our feet. Let's get up on our feet. Let's get up on our feet. I want you to just put your hand on your chest. Put your hand on your chest. Put your hand on your chest quickly. Put your hands on your chest quickly. Put your hands on your chest. Don't worry, I'll still take questions. We'll still go to question session. But please put your hand on your chest. We need healing right now. You are the one that knows your pain. You are the one that knows where it's hurting you. You are the one that knows what your own experience is. I don't know it. You are the one that knows where you are crying for healing, for comfort, for restoration. You are the one that knows it. So right now, I want you to tap into the healing grace that is in the house right now. Say, I receive healing. I receive healing for my pain. I receive healing, whatever it is. I receive healing. I receive healing. I receive healing. Enough of giving the enemy right over your joy. Enough of giving the enemy right over your pain. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. I receive healing from my past. I receive healing from my pain. I receive healing from my wrongs. I receive healings even from my mistakes. Yes, you could have made mistakes, but your mistakes do not define you. Receive your healing today. Receive your healing today. Receive your restoration today. It's a beginning, a new beginning with giant strides. A new beginning with giant strides. After today, you will experience the same thing and it will not pain you anymore. Oh, after today, you are free. God is saying you are free. God is saying you are free. He said I should tell you you are I don't know who it is, but I got a little spirit. That's one of us here. You were abused by your father. You were abused by your father repeatedly. And God says I should tell you that He has healed you. Amen. He said I should tell you that you are healed. That from today, He said He should tell you that you are no longer held by what happened to you. It doesn't define you anymore.
Yes.
It doesn't define you. You are free. I want you all to put your hand on your belly. The Bible says out of our belly shall flow rivers of living water. We are all women. Most of the challenges we had or encountered in life came through sex. Put your hand on your belly and begin to exercise. Speak to your stomach. Living water begin to flow in my stomach. Every sexual encounter I have had that is having an influence upon my life, I decree I am free in the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus, rivers of living water, rivers of living water, rivers of living water flow from within us. How? In the name of Jesus. In Jesus' mighty name we are praying. And the last prayer we're going to pray also is that a fresh impartation of the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is the one that helps us to weather through the pain. Because sometimes the pain could be so much. Remember when Paul says, Lord, take it up, he says, my grace is sufficient for you. Because sometimes the pain could be so much. But when the Spirit comes in, He helps us. He helps us to get that stamina. I want you to ask the Holy Spirit, the grace of God to come afresh upon you. The Spirit of the Lord to come afresh upon you. To help you on this journey of recovery. To help you so that this thing will not continue to another generation after you. To help you to break the hold of addiction, of abuse, of trauma, of mental illness, of depression. Begin to tell the Holy Spirit that it break the yoke of depression in my life. Break the yoke. Help me to stand strong in all too many of this journey. Holy Spirit, help me. Holy Spirit, help me. Holy Spirit, help me. Holy Spirit, help me. Help me, oh God, I yield my totality to you, sweet Holy Spirit. I yield my totality to you, sweet Holy Spirit. Thank you. Let's take this song together. I surrender all. I surrender all to Thee, my blessed Savior. I surrender all. You're going to take it one more time with all seriousness, because you are dropping your pain at His foot right now. You are dropping your shame at His foot right now. Everything that is giving you shame, reproach, you are dropping it at His foot right now. Everything that is causing you pain, everything that is making you feel uncomfortable, everything that makes you feel unhappy, you are dropping it at His feet right now. Everything. You are not holding on to anything anymore. You are dropping it all at His feet. Thank you, Lord Jesus. 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 There's another woman here. I have an understanding that you have been abused in marriage, even sexually. Even sexually. The Lord is saying He has seen your pain. He has seen your cries. He said He's setting you free. Amen. Setting you free. Amen. Oh, thank you, Lord Jesus. Thank you, Lord Jesus.
Thank you, Father.
How He wants to do it, I don't know. But God is saying to every one of us here, He says we are free. Amen. Nothing holds us anymore. Amen. And all He expects of us from today is to go and do His bidding and take up our pain and tell the world that we are beyond our pains. Thank you, sweet Holy Spirit. Thank you because you are here with us. Thank you for your healing balm. Thank you for restoration. We give you all the praise and all the honor. In Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Amen. Amen. In Jesus' name.
Please, let's have our seats.
Please, ma, this one is not about sexual abuse. It's emotional abuse in the office. You have a boss that she's, I don't know how to describe her. And this is a pastor's wife. There's nothing you never do that will please her. There's nothing that will ever please her. You won't instigate people against you. To the extent that when you are going to work, you start panicking. When the alarm rings for you to go to work, you become so scared. When you try, because you're a Christian, to try and forgive and love her at least the office setting, but she keeps on doing what they hurt you. To the extent that she goes to block your promotion. To the extent that when you are even sick and dying, she doesn't believe it. Even when others say and tell her, she still wants to be giving you query and copying HR and doing all sort of things to frustrate you. How do you deal with such a boss?
Okay. Thank you for that question, ma. Fantastic question there. Because now you're talking about an emotional abuser. See, I explained to us that emotional abuse are often, I explained to us earlier that emotions, especially trauma, are often covered up by a lot of us. Now, when you find an abuser, usually an abuser was the victim themselves. So what happens is that they had continued that cycle. And so that's why you probably hear this word, it says hurting people, hurt others. So now for you to be able to cope, especially if you have anyone, it might not even be office space like she has given, it could be any form of emotional abuse, someone who is just very sarcastic, someone who pulls you down, who talks down at you, who looks for every opportunity to belittle you or to take opportunities away from you and all of that. Many times you want to now begin to see what they do not see. What you want to see is that this is a hurting person, someone who is in pain already, would always try to hurt you. So now with that understanding, you start looking at that person in a new view. Okay, this person has a lot of issues, himself or herself, that she hasn't dealt with, and she's just putting it out on me. That's one. Two is that you now, because the place of emotions is you being able to be in charge of your emotion. What the emotional abuser wants to do is to control your emotions, so that they determine what you do. It takes a lot of effort. I don't know how to explain it, but I will try and break it down. It's something I do on a daily basis. If you see me the way I do my emotions, you will think it's something literal. I talk to my emotions. I tell myself, you're in charge of these emotions. I control what comes in. I control what goes out. Not any other person. So even if you do some things, I would make sure because I already know that this behavior you want me to react, deliberately I will not. You know what I'll say? I'll just say, thank you. You think I'm stupid? You may be right. I even like it to be right. Thank you. Because it's your opinion, it's your perception. I don't have control over you. I'm not a witch also, so I won't bother to control you. But I know that this person is injured, is hurting, and so you want to keep throwing the venom and bring bitterness out of me. Now, if you are consistent in your own, guiding your peace of that, another way you can do that is one of the things we call dance therapy. Dance therapy helps a lot when it comes to your emotions. So you could be in your car, you could be in the office, and just start doing something like this. For no reason. Just move. Come on, move. Everybody move. You know what you're doing when you do that? You're actually pumping an hormone. We call it the happiness hormone. It's serotonin. You're pumping it. You're making it come out. It's the same hormone that doctors give when you say someone has depression. And then they take the person to the hospital and they're trying to boost, when we give antidepressants and all of that, they are trying to boost the person's serotonin level, that hormone that we call the happiness hormone. Okay? But there are natural ways to boost it, and dance is one of the ways. Because when you're moving in a rhythm, the mind thinks, okay, if you're moving in this way, that means everything must be okay. Yeah. That means you're okay. Even though you are not. And then before you find out what's going on, you start smiling naturally. Now you seeing it? And a woman who was going through a very abusive, emotionally abusive marriage, I gave her this technique and told her to start using like a dose. You take it in the morning, you take it in the afternoon, you take it at night. She contacted me years later. She went on Facebook to look for me, to tell me that dance therapy worked for me. That even till now it's still working, and that even my marriage, in fact, she doesn't know how the whole thing fizzled out. But she found out that because she could start owning her joy, she determines when she wants to be happy, not what the other person does to her. Okay, so dance therapy works a lot. Another thing that you can also use when you're dealing with emotional issues like that is water. Water therapy. Water also can help you. So now you take it in. And you know what? The moment you're able to disabuse your mind from that person's sarcastic vibes, you're in control of your space. Most of what they do against you will backfire. Even when it comes to all those promotional issues, you find other people fighting for you when you're not even there. Because you keep on insisting, I'm going to show this person love. Even if, because I know this person is hurting. That's the truth, that's the reality. The person is hurting, and you are just unfortunate to be around that person. Okay, it's not even an unfortunate thing. You're even blessed to be around that person. What makes you blessed? Because it's an avenue for you to show love, even to the most difficult person on earth. And if finally, if any reason, the person frustrates you out of that place, it's still in the place and the will of your own desire that will win at the end of the day. But if it's in an abusive marriage, emotionally abusive, please come in for therapy. You know what it will do for you? It will help you to build internal stamina against that person who is trying to pull your emotions down. What they're doing is, the moment your emotions are down, the person rides over you.
Yeah.
So maintain, ability to maintain your joy despite everything is key in all of this. You're welcome.
So this happens years back when I was a single, and I experienced my relationship with God was so tight, and then I could hear from him. He could reveal things to me that will happen, even in my family.
Yeah.
Even sometimes when I'm not there, he will tell me then back in school. But I would say I fall short of glory at a point. Then after some years, and then I got married, and sometimes though I'm born, I'm reconciled with God, and then sometimes I don't know whether it's the devil or it's the voice in my subconsciousness that do come to, like, you know, you did this and you did that in the past. Are you sure this is not what is standing against your prayers? And I know most of us may have been experiencing things like this. So I would want you to help me, as in throw more light. Though I've been using the word of God to deal with this, but I would want you on the professional level to also give me some.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ma. I think that reminds me of something I also wanted to chip in when we're talking about the emotions, especially emotional abuse and all of that. Because it's not even only human being that abuses us, just like you have told us now. Even the devil abuses us emotionally. He comes and he brings all your shame to your face every time. He comes and he pictures and he tells you, see, you better don't go near. He comes and he shows you all your failures and everything. Okay, but this is the reality, and that's where we're going to stand. The first principle is the ability to forgive you. See, it's amazing if you get to know how much God has forgiven us. Even when your heart condemns you, God is greater than your heart. Those were scriptures that helped me in those years. When the enemy will come again and tell you, better go and sit down, you. And then I remember, even when my heart is saying, no, God is greater than my heart. So what is God saying? God said, I have redeemed you, you are mine. That's why he showed us Isaiah 43. He said, I have redeemed you. If you go read up that scripture more and more, you will see. He said, even because I love you, I will give men for your sake. It gets to that point. So if God is saying, I will never give men for your sake, I will sacrifice other people for you. So Satan, you can't come and tell me what is not right now. So every time it comes with that sense of guilt, say it back to him. That was the past. Jesus is my present. And right now I'm standing on the present word of God for my life. And that makes sense. And one thing over you can also do is what I call the forgiveness process. The forgiveness process is something every one of us can accommodate into our pattern on a daily basis. Every night before you go to bed, you are lying down your bed, try to project what your day was like. And every point
you had issues with one person or the other, let everybody you saw during your day come into your mind. Picture them one after the other, and that applies to that woman. Just let them come in, and then keep asking one question to every one of them in your mind. Do you believe in my supremacy? Do you believe in the godliness inside of me? Do you believe there's something unique or great about my life? If they say yes to you, keep their picture. If they say no, just tell them, thank you, bye-bye, thank you, bye-bye. You know you're not having a physical conversation. It's in your mind. But a daily routine of it, what you're doing that way is that you're saving the most important people, the people who matters, so that the people who don't matter, you don't hold grudges against them. You understand already that this person doesn't even believe me, does not know me, does not know what I stand for, does not know my life. So why am I expecting too much of this person? So that way you deal with the forgiveness approach to people or what they say to you about what you have been through or where you are going to. But for yourself now, you just say to yourself every time, I am a child of God. I am standing on what God said. And I am going to be continuously what God says.
It was my dad's younger sister, and she made a comment. She's like, you that I have noticed, anytime you start something, you don't finish it. This was probably when I was like 10. A number, like around 10 or thereabout. And I realized that sometimes I do things that I shouldn't be doing because I feel, I must finish it. I must finish it. And then sometimes also maybe I start something and I start something sometimes and it makes me, it's sort of as conditioned, you know, it's programmed myself to
always want to finish things, and when I don't finish it, I feel like, I failed again, yes.
Like the word has come fast.
Yes, I pray about it, I've heard about it.
And then also,
yes, I just
said I should talk to you about it.
Okay. And that also tells us how many of us are actually still walking around with programming. Things they said, somebody told you years ago, somebody mentioned it to you, you're good for nothing. Somebody said to you, the only thing you're good for is sex. Somebody said to you, your brain is empty. Somebody said to you, there's so many things. Oh, even a common one I've corrected a lot of mothers for is laziness, calling the child lazy. Because you don't know what you're doing to that child. She becomes an adult, and the only thing the person starts doing all her life is work. Because she wants to prove to the whole world that she's not lazy. Many of you are struggling. You are in the same shoe. You don't know. You are marathon at work. You're trying to prove to your unconscious mind. You don't know. It's actually unconscious. When you come to therapy and we start breaking it down, that will bring it to your face. That's it. This is the programming that has been making you. You are running with this. So you want to prove to who? To yourself or to the person that is dead that called you that thing? No. The holy word that stands in our life is the word of God. And so one of the things I do every day, when I hear or I remember, I've had a lot. I've been called a lot of things, and that's why I give you an example, even when media people or some people who come and say this, the first thing I hear in my spirit is that scripture that says, who said it? I shall believe the word of the Lord. What is God saying about me? And that's final. So the next thing I do is I look for a scripture. Do you understand? I look for a scripture. The moment I have that scripture, when it comes to me again that, you cannot finish anything, and I say to them, who says I must finish everything? Who says? Am I God? Must I finish everything? And so you don't finish things. So even if I don't, is my life not happy? Do you understand? So I must have answers, because that's another thing. Those voices in our head, you need to answer. See, one of the mistakes we do is that we let those thoughts go. They come and then they go. You need to answer them. You need to answer them. You don't let it just pass. Let it just go away. I just remember that somebody when you were young told you are stupid. The moment that memory comes, as you remember, answer it immediately. That, okay, maybe that was what she thought at that time, because she didn't know me anyway. She didn't know my future. She didn't know what I stand for. But I know I am wonderfully and beautifully made. I know I'm awesome. I have the brain and intelligence of God. And that's what matters. And above everything, please, I'm leaving this with us. Please focus on what you want, not what you do not want. Focus on what you want. Say the things you want, not the things you do not want. So you don't want to say, I don't want to be unhappy. I don't want a bad marriage. If you say that, you will attract it. There's power in words, and the mind doesn't know the place of negativity. So when you say, I do not want to be poor, what you have is the mind cancels not. What you have is, I do want to be poor. So please, say the things you want. I want to be happy. I want joy. I want wealth. I want health. Not, I don't want to be sick. I don't want to be sick. I don't want a man that is not my friend. If you say that, you will end up having a man that is not your friend. Say, I want a husband, a man that is my friend. I want a man, I want my husband to be my best friend. I want my husband to be a companion. Say the things you want. Even when you are alone, even when you're talking. Because you will attract it at the end of it all. And I think that brings us to the end of the question and answer session. Thank you so much for your time.
Amongst us, we have testimonies of people that he himself did the delivery, either natural or CS. We have amongst us here sisters that at some point, was it 3 months, I don't want to mention name, they were pregnant and they were having, I don't know, blood was coming out. Miscarriages, threatened miscarriage. And immediately you call Dr. Oyeko. He will just attend to that case and we had successful delivery. God bless you, doctor. We love you.
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
For the first lecture, I was so much engulfed in it, and I've virtually forgotten what I came to do. Even seeing you people, I mean, you are really God's masterpiece. I can't see any disease in you at all. By the grace of God. Even no Apostle Paul said, I wish above all things that you should prosper in health. I pray that you all prosper in your health. In Jesus' name. See, we live in a world in which afflictions, in the Bible, many are the afflictions of the righteous. It's only God that can deliver. So we live in a world of diseases, sicknesses, in fact, name it, both from childhood, adult, male, female, no one is exempted, including racial, both in US, Asia, Africa, afflictions. It's global. It's a global problem that we live in. Even in the days of our Lord Jesus Christ. The woman with the issue of the womb, we all know that. I guess that must have been fibroid issue. Yes. So she was bleeding bad for several years. And thank God, she met Christ and she was healed. Even the woman that was lame, even the woman that was bent all over, they all, Christ healed many of them in the course of his journey on earth. So I want to dwell on 3 main issues. Health problems in women. That is cancer. It's not a portion in Jesus' name. But we just need to educate ourselves, to familiarize ourselves. And what can we do to prevent this? The first one is, let's talk about breast cancer, then later we talk about cancer of the cervix, we can talk of fertility and fibroid later. Now, breast cancer. Cancer is something that can affect any organ in the body. In fact, there is cancer of the eyes, even the throat, even the womb itself, the cervix, where the baby comes out eventually. Cancer of the cervix is rampant. Even there is cancer of the stomach. So there is no part of the body that cancer cannot occur. So what is cancer really? Cancer just means that the cells of the body, they are multiplying, growing abnormally, uncontrollably. So that's what cancer is all about. So let's talk about breast cancer. I'm sure you've heard of 1 or 2 people who must have had cancer of the breast and eventually died. So breast cancer occurs in both male and female. It's just that it is more common. It's commoner among females. And this cancer, well, due to advances in medical technology, so it is easily, it can be earlier detected, and then, so the survival rate has improved. Death rate has even also dropped. Thank God for advances in that. So what are the symptoms? Let's just quickly. The symptoms of breast cancer. Number one, that's why you women, you need to examine yourself every day in front of the mirror. Even after your bed, just check yourself using your hand. I will teach you about that later. So what are the symptoms? The first one is breast lump. A lump in the breast. A lump is like a thickening of the inside of the breast that feels different from the rest, from the surrounding tissues of the breast. So a lump is the commonest symptom of a breast cancer. So if you have any area of your breast that you feel that this is different from other areas, please consult your doctor, because that lump, a lot of people have neglected it. After some months, the lump was growing, and some educated, they went to traditional healers and all that. The thing was now growing until it became cancer, and then at that stage, you cannot treat it. At a stage, cancer can be curable, but generally, when it has reached an advanced stage, there's nothing you can do about it. So breast lump issue, if you spot it, please consult your doctor. Then if there's any change in the size of the breast, so the breast sometimes, most times, one is usually bigger than the other. That one is normal. But if you notice that there is a swelling, this size is unusual, the shape is unusual, the appearance is unusual from what it is before. So you have to nip it and then consult your doctor. So that is the second sign. The third one is the dark area of around the nipple, which we call the areola. If you have some flakes or scaling or crusting, or the place is just like it's peeling, like somebody who is breastfeeding. Sometimes the breast can be sore. It can occur when you are not breastfeeding and you have a sore in the breast. Please, you have to take it serious. It could be a sign of breast cancer. Then the last one, number 5, is the nipple. If the nipple is depressed, sunken, inverted, call it inverted, it's going inward, please take it serious. It can be a sign of breast cancer. So those are the 5 signs, symptoms that you can detect in your body. So what are the causes really? So find out that breast cancer actually is difficult to determine what is the real cause. We just know that some people are at risk. There are risk factors, or there are chances that someone is prone to develop this cancer. And there are lifestyle changes, hormonal changes in our body, and then environmental factors too that can make it possible. And we all know that there is a strong genetic link. Some people in the family, they are genetically predisposed to have cancer. You've had it in some family in which the mother, she had the cancer, then transmitted the gene. It's an abnormal gene to the daughters. So all the daughters born in that family are all having cancer. There is a breast cancer gene called breast cancer gene 1 and 2. So this genetic inherited mutation, these are changes in the breast that after some time, when they are approaching 30, the breast develop cancer. That one is genetic makeup. Some families, some people, they have that. So that one is number 1. Number 2, so let's talk about the risk factors in which we look for when we say, oh, you have a chance of getting cancer. Being female, you know that female, it is in female that you have more breast cancer than male. Even male too, they develop it. There's cancer of the breast in males, more common in females. So that's number 1. Then age. As we all aging, our immunity reduces. Your immunity is, we have some cells in our body called the. Those are the soldiers. They fight infection, they fight diseases. So if any part of the body is growing that wants to form cancer, the immunity actually will kill it off. But some people, as we are aging, age is a factor in which you may not be able to fight well due to low immunity. Then there are some diseases that when it gets into the body, like HIV virus that destroys someone's immunity, so that can make your body not to be able to fight cancer cells in the body. So that one is number 3. So number 4, another factor that is linked to breast cancer is a family history. If someone has a mother, you had a mother or a sister that had a breast cancer, so one is predisposed. So you have to be careful. You must visit a medical practitioner to determine your risk of developing the cancer. And then if you've had a breast lump that was removed and then you went for a test, any tissue that is removed from the body goes for a test called histology or cytology. And if the test is showing some abnormal results, please, it needs a lifetime follow-up. Don't just neglect it. Sometimes the report can say, well, not likely or unusual, but follow up. Some have neglected the test and later they came up with breast cancer. So it has to be followed up. Another thing is, another risk factor is when a child, we call it early first age, first menses. When you have your first menses at a very early age, especially abroad, in US nowadays, ideally you are supposed to start, a woman is supposed to start, a lady is supposed to start menses from age 13 is the average, 12, 13. Yes. But you find out some daughters, some girls, they now menstruate 9 years, 10 years. They are menstruating early. They find out that those people who are menstruating earlier, they have increased chances of developing cancer. Mothers in those days, they menstruate maybe from 14, 15 years, even 16 years. But nowadays, I find out that average, I think my daughter started menstruating 12 years. 12 years. Then some 11 years, 10 years, 9 years abroad. And we've heard of even conception. The youngest woman in the world was 10 years old. That got pregnant, maybe rape or whatever. Must have been menstruating, that means ovulating. No, the delivery was by cesarean section anyway. So that was the youngest one. So early age of first menses matters a lot. A lot of them, the earlier the age of starting menses, the more chance of more development is it can be an increased risk of cancer. Then also menopause. Menopause is a stage in which a woman stops menstruating. It's a stage in which the ovaries are saying, I'm stopping, I'm regressing. But you find out that usually the average age of menopause is from 45 years to 55 years. So if I'm menstruating after 55 till 60 years, I'm still menstruating. But no, that's premature menopause. It's actually premature menopause. It's even good for the body. It's good for the body to stop. It's just that the menopausal symptoms are uncomfortable. So that's it. You know our mothers in the past, but my wife's mother, she was menstruating up to 60 years. She's still living now, over 80 years. She's still sharp, still active. So, late stage of menopause is another predisposing factor. What causes is linked to breast cancer formation. Then another issue is that this researchers, the scientists, they are the ones that formulate all these medical advances and all that. They now find out that women who have never been pregnant before, they have never been pregnant for one reason or the other, they have an increased risk of breast cancer. Yes. It's not a portion, no. No, because marriage has to be planned. It has to be planned. You can't rush into a marriage. You have to study the man very well and all that before you get married. But you find out that having not been pregnant at all is a risk. At an appropriate age, a woman of appropriate age, not getting pregnant is a risk. You're having your first child at older age, after 30 years, is also a risk. So having, you call it late, you call it older women delivering after 30 years is also a risk. The use of drugs. There are some women, they are passing through menopause. So there are some drugs like family planning pills to reduce the symptoms of menopause, hormone replacement therapy. Those drugs, even family planning, contraceptives, some are given, they are linked to cancer of the breast because they contain estrogen and progesterone. That's why some people, they don't even do family planning. All this family planning is a risk for cancer when you use all those drugs. And yes, it's an established fact. And last one, alcohol. Taking alcohol, no matter how little, women, they have more side effects of these drugs than men. The men are rugged, you can be drunk and all, they may not even cause anything, but women, no matter the little alcohol you take, it can lead to increased chances of getting cancer of the breast. And diet, let's say about diet this time around. Diet too, our diet. Found out that we have incorporated Western diet in our system. We don't take enough fruits and vegetables. Those fruits and vegetables, they are actually immunity. They are actually immune drugs. They stimulate your immunity. They stimulate your cells that fights infection, that clears cancer cells. It's actually true. So your diet, your fruits and vegetables is very important. Very important. Because our body tends to grow, to overgrow, but there is changes in our body. The immunity will wipe them away, we arrest them. What are the symptoms of cancer of the cervix? The first thing is bleeding. If you have bleeding after coitus, after sex, after sex, you have found out that your that is stained with blood. That is a very big warning symptom of of cervical cancer. So you have to take that important and go to the hospital immediately, because when cancer is identified earlier, it can be treated. And it's curing. And we always call bleeding in between the menses. After menstruating now, ideally you should stay for at least 21 days before another menses comes. Some people, they don't have a definite day. The menses is just irregular, but at least every 3 weeks you want to menstruate. So when you menstruate this week, then within 2 weeks or a week you are menstruating again. That will be a sign of cancer of the womb or cancer of the cervix. Then for older women, after menopause, when you have attained menopause, whenever they say to you don't menstruate again, all of a sudden you just find that after 5 years, 6 years, or 10 years of being dry, no more menses, the woman started bleeding again. That may be a sign of cancer of the womb or cancer of the cervix. Another symptom is painful intercourse. Like during intercourse, find it very uncomfortable, or you have pains in the waist region. Even backache alone, low back pain is a warning, it's a symptom of cancer of the womb. You should go for a health checkup. It is very, very important. You go for that. So backache alone can be a sign of breast cancer, because the cervix is a very sensitive area. There are nerves connected. So if there's any changes there that is not good, the nerves they transmit the sensation to the back, and then the lower back and the pelvis. What are the things that some people do that makes them to be prone to develop this cancer of the cervix? Number one, multiple sexual partners is a strong risk. Those who are practicing prostitution, they have a risk, increased risk of cancer of the cervix. The early sexual activity, find a pair of 9 years, 10 years, having sex, regular sex already. So that child is prone to cancer of the cervix. So having sex at an early age is a very, very negative aspect of life. So that girl is prone to cancer of the cervix. Then other sexually transmitted diseases like NNOBI, if it's not treated well, syphilis, chlamydia, any vaginal infection that keeps on recurring over and over is a sign, can be a sign, can predispose one to develop cancer of the cervix. Then anything that reduces your immunity, any debilitating disease in the body like tuberculosis, like HIV. HIV makes the immune system weak. So cancer of the cervix can develop from that. Then exposure to miscarriage prevention drugs. In the 50s, they found that a study was done. Those who are in the 50s, there is a drug called stibestrol. They use that stibestrol to stop breastfeeding. You want to wean a child from taking breast after about a year or 1.5 years. This drug was used, stibestrol. They found out that the offerings of those women who took those drugs develop cancer of the cervix. But that has been banned anyway, stibestrol. If a doctor is prescribing a drug for you to stop breastfeeding, oh, my baby is now 1 year, I want to stop. Please, ask well. Is this an hormonal drug? If it is a hormonal drug, please do not take. In some private hospitals, they still prescribe this thing, it's still available. Stibestrol. Yes, it can be stopped naturally. It can be stopped. It's just that in varying, you have to reduce number of fluids, drinks you take, like watermelon, pap, and all that. Fluid restriction. Then there is a drug like Lasix. You can use Lasix to stop lactating, to stop breastfeeding. Then there are some other herbal things you can take. Probably that one, don't go to that area at all. That bromocriptine, one can use that. One can use that, but it has to be well prescribed. You tail it down. There's a way one can prescribe it to use. But women generally, once you stop breastfeeding, the body will tune. The brain is the brain that produces a drug, a chemical called prolactin. It is that prolactin that makes your breast to produce more breast milk. Once you stop, and the stimulation is the nipple. On the nipple, on the source of stimulation is not there. Then the brain starts producing less and less and less of the prolactin. So eventually,
But sometimes your breast will be full.
yeah, it can be full. Yes. It can be very difficult to stop. Actually, it can be difficult to stop.
So that's why they prescribe,
Lasix. It is Lasix normally prescribed. But if that Lasix do not work, that Panodil is still bromocriptine.
Yeah, bromocriptine, I know.
But stage by stage. I won't just place on Panodil immediately like that, because it can have a negative effect on you later in life. That Panodil it has some side effects. So stage by stage. If that does not work, I'll go to. It's the last resort anyway. It should be the last resort. That is it. All right. So exposure to, we talk about that. Then another risk factor is termination of pregnancy. People who have had several terminations, that is, induced abortion, going for abortions and all that, is not good for the body. So it's a risk of developing cancer of the cervix. So all these are risks that you have to know. Multiple sexual partners, early sexual activity, sexual transmitted disease, immunity, even smoking. Smoking is strongly linked to cancer of the cervix. Yes, smoking is a well-known cause of cancer of the cervix. Eating meat regularly, red meat, particularly red meat, is a risk for cancers. Even breast cancer is American cancer. It's a risk. The last thing about 15 factors is breastfeeding. Found out that the study was not. Found out that people breastfeed exclusive breastfeeding. You have a very low risk. You are not likely to develop cancer. Very low risk of developing cancer. So breastfeeding is very important. So many women, they don't breastfeed after sometimes the stress of the work. And when you deliver, if you are a working woman, you are a professional skilled worker, go to work, they don't give you more than 2-3 months. So what do? You just have to resort to formula milk for the baby. So inadequate breastfeeding too is another factor that leads to cancer. So that's why cancer, ideally, a lot of people with all this risk do not develop cancer. While some people who have no risk at all, no family history, they are eating well, they have enough food, vegetables, develop cancer. So it is actually a genetic thing. So it's your genetic makeup, changes in the genes that lead to cancer with interaction with so many other factors. So it's a complex thing. It's a complex factor. It's not just one factor. Either being female or family history or your mother had it, and then obesity is another issue. If you are overweight, find out that you are even at risk of cancer. There is a particular weight you should maintain for your height. You all know that we are all, in fact, God is the best architecture in the world. You all know that everybody cannot be slim, everybody cannot be fat. Some people are born fat and heavy, some have big bones. Like this, my sister, you have a big bone. No matter what you do, if you want to slim down and all that, you may not even shed that weight, really. You don't need to shed it. So we all have different figures and all that. So, but also obesity, if we are extremely fat, there is a risk, there is a greater risk of developing breast cancer. So that's about treatment. Treatment is usually removal of the breast, use of drugs, body chemotherapy, and X-rays. X-ray is like an X-ray beam to treat it. How do we prevent it? That is the most important thing now. Prevention of breast cancer. Now, one of the best ways you can prevent it, preventive approaches, use of this breast self-examination. I think you can even Google it. Breast self-examination. How you examine your breast every morning from one area to the other, all around. Just feel with the tip of your hand. Just move it round and round and round, both breasts. If you discover there's any changes in the skin, or there's a bump, or the nipple is not what the direction is not right, or around the areola, the dark area surrounding the nipple, it is scaling or peeling, please resort. You have to visit a medical doctor to determine this. Then avoid alcohol as much as possible. Women should abstain from alcohol. Alcohol is a stimulant. It's a risk for women to develop breast cancer. And exercise. That is very important. Please, exercise, even trekking. Not like that. Moderate exercise, cycling, swimming, and all that. Sometimes the nature of the workload, if you have 4 children at home, in fact, that one is enough exercise. It's safe. Running after them, even cooking, going to market, that one is exercise on its own. But you can develop that habit. Even one can walk, trekking. You can trek from here to the National Stadium, about 5 kilometers. Or trek to Bode Thomas and come back on weekends. I think it is a good exercise, trekking. Even jog, you may not even jog, or there is no time for all that. So at least 30 minutes of brisk walking every day for at least 5 days in a week. It is very, very important. And also at home, there are things you can do. Even mopping the floor manually, washing clothes manually, avoiding use of the, what do you call it, machine, makes you lazy. It's another exercise. Then at night also, at night try to be mobile, try to move around. You know, a lot of women don't switch on the TV at night, just sitting down. Some can sit for hours watching films, 3 hours. Telemundo. You know all those things. So every 20 minutes, try to get up and walk around. Every 20 minutes, just walk around. Move your body. And try and avoid meal late night, eating at 9, 10 o'clock is not good. So your food should end by 7, 8 p.m. From 9 p.m. From 9 p.m. it is abnormal time. Then eat well, healthy diet plan. How about a healthy diet plan? Vegetables. Vegetables of any sort. Find out that people of this Calabar area, people consume the Igbos. Even where I work, when I used to be in Baja here, you find out that people, after delivery, cesarean section, you must lose blood during the process. But who are the people losing blood? Even when the Igbos, those from the east or southern, Bayelsa and all that, Calabar, Cross River State, Rivers, when they lose blood, they recover faster than our tribe, than the Yorubas. Due respect to the Yorubas here, I'm not causing you, I'm not abusing. You find out that yes, the Igbos, because of their diet, they incorporate vegetables. Especially the Calabar ones, they are tama, they dig icon, they dig efan, and there's another one, afan. All those things, those are the real blood tonic that the body needs, that stimulate, and those things are anti-cancer. Those things are anti-cancer. There is no incidence of cancer in those areas. People from the east, actually. So those are the foods you should be incorporating. Even bitter leaf. And there is this Yoruba one, what they call efirin. Efirin is scent leaf. Or scent leaf, basil. How the holy basil is very good. Incorporate it. Even with every day, any vegetable you are cooking, bitter leaf. And that one is even good to control your blood sugar. It's very, very important. And garlic, ginger, they are very good. There's even one called turmeric. So for it in ShopRite. In ShopRite, they sell it. In some supermarkets, they sell it. All these things stimulate the body. If you Google them, health benefits of all these things, ginger, garlic, and all that, they are anti-cancer. They kill cancer cells in the body. There's even one called cinnamon. That one too is very good. That is of blood sugar. There's also green tea. Green tea, first thing in the morning, it is very healthy. It is the healthiest thing you can take. Just like a lifting tea bag. Just throw in the hot water, allow it to simmer for about 10 minutes and drink. Yes, it's good. The green tea is very good. It doesn't disturb you. It contains some caffeine, but it is very, very healthy. Even there is black tea, there is oolong tea. All these teas are very, very important. So that HPV vaccine, look for it. It's very, very important. There are some private hospitals, they have it. So Lagoon Hospital, they have it. All those driving things and all that. But the government, they are not making it widely available. It should be made available. Some health centers now, they have it. In fact, there are some cancer screening NGOs, organization, they have it. They give it, this vaccine. So look for it, HPV vaccine. So if I have anywhere that are taking it, I will let you know. Then there's this pap smear. All women of reproductive age from 21 years must do this pap smear. Pap smear is just a test of the cervix. You do a little scraping. It's not a painful thing, just like a spatula. Just scrape part of the cervix, put it in a glass and check if there are changes in the cells, in the way the cervix is behaving. So that can identify if there is any cancer that is likely to form very soon or in the years to come. So pap smear is very important. Then practicing of safe sex is very important. Avoiding multiple sexual partners. Then telling our daughters to be free, to avoid fornicating, illicit sex, because that itself is a risk for cancer of the cervix. Then quit smoking. You have to make sure you quit smoking. Some people, they smoke in their home secretly, even in schools. Father, when you go to all these universities, higher colleges of education, the girls too, they smoke, they are lured into it. So smoking too is, so having a good life of Christianity, will make you, the child, not to be wayward, not to go astray. So that is with cancer of the cervix. Pray that nobody here will have any cancer in Jesus' name. Because the body is the temple of the Lord. So let's talk about fibroid now. That's the last one we're talking about. So with fibroid, what is fibroid? Fibroid are just like, they are growths in the womb. Uterine fibroid. These are growths in the womb. The womb is designed in such a way, it's like a ball that harbors the baby and can expand, and at the right time contract, the pain expelling the baby to be delivered. But these fibroids, it seems that a lot of women, they have this fibroid in their body, but it ranges in sizes. Some are small, like a grain of, just like a grain of rice. It's just there, and it will remain there for years, for a lifetime. Some is just like a bean size. Some is so big in which they are like onions. When onions form together, they will now have a covering of like a cloth to cover them. Some are as big as a coconut, in the womb. So women, when you see them, you think they are pregnant, but it is due to fibroids. So many fibroids lumped together in the body. They range in various sizes and can expand up to the ribs. They can be so big and up to the ribs. Some have had this fibroid and they have left it alone, which is dangerous. Sometimes we just discover these fibroids on routine. Maybe when you go for a scan, and the scan is just, you have some fibroids. There can be fibroid seeds. They are just tiny seeds. They won't grow beyond that. They won't cause you any problem. But sometimes they are so big to be very disturbing. And most women, there is no symptom of it. It doesn't cause any problem. It's just there. It depends on your body. But sometimes when it comes with symptoms, it can come with, especially the bigger ones, can come with heavy bleeding. So when you know that, normally you use your usual pad throughout your menstrual period for 5 days, and then you feel that by the time you are now menstruating for about 7 days, 10 days, your menses are not stopped, that may be a sign of fibroids developing. So heavy menstrual flow, heavy bleeding is a big sign of fibroids. So you have to be very careful and report it to a medical practitioner. Then if you have any unusual pain, just find out you are now having back pain than before. It may be that there are some fibroids that were small and then they were growing over the years and then getting bigger. Then when you find out that you are urinating more frequently, you wake up frequently to urinate, that can be a sign of fibroids. Some fibroids, because the bladder is just in front of the womb. So when you have an heavy load on the womb, it will rest on the bladder. So the bladder is under pressure. The bladder receives urine formation from the kidney. So the bladder will be stimulated. You'll just be going to the toilet to urinate. So when there is frequent urination, that will be a sign of fibroid. Then when you have difficulty, you get to the toilet, you just pass a little bit, you go back. Then you go back again and you find a difficulty in urinating. That too is a sign of fibroid and constipation. Because the fibroid too, there are the intestine, they are the back of the womb. So if the fibroid is big and it's resting on the large intestine, the bowels, there will be constipation. So people who are having constipations continuously, you know that a lot of women have more constipation than men. It's an established fact. Some women, they don't go to the toilet 3 days, some 4 days. It's natural. It's their system. But you find out that after 1 week, you are not going to the toilet. It used to be 2 days, 3 days. It's now extended. That may be a sign of fibroid. Another problem of fibroid is infertility. Fibroid can cause someone not to get pregnant. So the risk factors, who are the people who are prone to develop fibroid? Now race. Fibroid is more common in blacks, among blacks, most Africans. They have more fibroid because of genetic makeup, because of the dark body, dark skin itself is a risk factor. Being black in Africa, then hereditary, so genetically prone. In some family you have the mother, the daughter, and all the women. All of them they're always having fibroid. All of them they have fibroid. So that one is genetic. That one is their makeup, is their natural makeup. That is how they are. Then, like I said, the early age of menarche. Someone, a girl is menstruating early, starts menstruating early, 9 years, 10 years. That is a risk of developing fibroid later in life. Then not getting married at the appropriate time. You find out that a lot of fibroid occurs in age group of 25 years to 35 years. That is the age group where you have a lot of people with fibroids. So you can see that pregnancy itself is protective. When you get pregnant or you deliver, you shed some of these fibroids out. You release them out of the body. But when one has waited for many years and a woman of 25, for some reasons, some 30, some have been abandoned, some have to start all over. Some women, it's not really their fault that they don't want to get married at 25, 26, 27, 30 years. Some due to so many reasons. Some have been abused, like we just finished the lecture. So it makes their life to be a turbulent one. So you may not get married, and then but fibroid can be an issue from 25 years to 35 years. So that is the age range that a lot of fibroid grow so much. Yes. Then talk about being heavily overweight, being obese is another risk factor because the fibroid too contains some fatty components in it. So the heavier you are, the bigger you are, the more the likelihood that one has fibroid. It doesn't mean that people who are fat, all of them must have fibroid. It doesn't follow at all. It's just, these are just studies. These are studies. A lot of people who are even bigger, overweight, they're even more healthier. They don't have hypertension or diabetes or whatever, and they are healthy. Just that more studies were done, found out that people who are overweight, so many of them, those who have fibroids, they are more common in those people. Then there is red meat again. This red meat consumption is another risk factor of fibroids. Fish. You know that fish is more healthier than meat. It's more healthier than meat. Meat has a lot of problems, from cholesterol to cancer formations and fibroid formations and all that. Then reduce intake of green vegetables. Find out that people develop fibroids. There is lack of enough green vegetables and fruits with it. Why? Because these green vegetables too, they stimulate the immunity. So fibroid is another growth. It's just that it is not as deadly as cancer. The body can wipe it off naturally through our immune cells, through the soldiers that fight infection. Then alcohol again is another cause of fibroid in women. It's been linked that women who take a lot of alcohol, they are prone to fibroids. So we talk about the complication. So what are the complications of fibroids? What can fibroid do to you? Number one, anemia. If you are bleeding heavily, 2 weeks, the bleeding has not stopped. You are still menstruating by the 3rd week due to fibroid. And it's ongoing every month. Then the person can have shortage of blood. That's anemia. Some people are even admitted. They are admitted and give them blood transfusion to replace the blood they have lost. And until they remove the fibroid, the issue will not be stopped. Then infertility is another cause. The fibroid itself. You know that some fibroids, they can protrude, they can block the entrance of the sperm going inside. in the cervix, we have what is called cervical fibroids. We have fibroid inside the womb. There can be fibroid outside. Those ones that are outside, they can cause no problem. But there are some fibroid, they can even cause blockage of the tubes, the fallopian tubes, where the sperm will pass. But fibroid is there, locking around. So fibroid can cause infertility. Fibroid can even lead to miscarriage because the fibroid is occupying all the space that the baby developing is supposed to be expanding until at the right time. But when the baby is not expanding, the baby has no time, then the body will expel it. So miscarriage is one complication of fibroid. With miscarriage, find out that a lot of women who have fibroids, and they've told maybe the fibroid is fairly big, and eventually has a miscarriage at 7 months, 8 months, that one is prematurity. Baby may not even survive. So all those are the risk, the complication, shortage of blood, infertility, miscarriage, then eventually, prematurity. So what can we do to avoid people who have fibroid? First and foremost, get to a doctor. It's not all fibroids that needs surgery or to be removed. In fact, there are even more advanced way of treating fibroid. Of even instead of the real surgery that we perform, that is what we have at the moment. Or in advanced society, they even use something like tiny telescope, stereoscope, to nip fibroid and suck it out and remove it. Even there is even this laser. There is a laser like a beam of light that can burn it, but we don't have that technology here. But if the fibroid is so big as causing infertility, inability of a woman to get pregnant, it's better the fibroid is removed. In fact, we have a lot of women who have had fibroid removal surgically that have gotten pregnant. So there's increased chances of you developing getting pregnant after the fibroid is removed, which is very, very important. Because we've had cases in which the woman at death had a very big fibroid, huge fibroid up to the heart region, up to the nipple region, like a pregnant woman. And this woman, many of them, they went to herbal homes, they deceived them. And that's one message I want to pass to you. People, all this herbal home, they give them concussion, a lot of things, and all that to drink, wasting their time. Because a woman, once you are born, a female baby comes with the ovary. The ovary just is like the size of the testes. One here, one here. All the eggs that the woman would need in her lifetime is already inside there. As the baby is born, it's already inside. And there's a time frame. Every month the woman menstruates, several eggs comes along. Only one of them will mature. It's the mature egg that will mix with the sperm to form a baby, a developing baby. They will now travel back into the womb. Several eggs will be destroyed. Those ones will be destroyed. So every month, several eggs are being destroyed. They are being destroyed. Well, only one is just matured, or two, because sometimes twins are being formed. So by 35 years, that's the peak period of reproductive life, 25 years to 95 years. By 36 years, chances of getting pregnant drops, reduces. By 40 years, the woman's chances of getting pregnant reduces markedly because the ovaries too, they are aging. So that's why by 45 years, in fact, gradually menopause develops. That's why one has to know. You find out that some women, where there's no way, God can make a way. The women who marry late due to so many reasons. Some have had encounters with husbands in which first husband, second husband mismanage them, misabuse them, and all that. They have to start starting all over or not getting the right partner at the right time brings them to marry late. And then so many of them, 38 years, 39 years, 40 years, I've encountered, they get pregnant. They get pregnant, then they are delivered, and then they start their life. It's not that it is not encouraging. There are issues with infertility. Once you reach that age range, once you are 35 years and above, ability to get pregnant drastically drops. So one should, as a woman, should make hay while the sun shines. So for women, we say, oh, my career, I'm not ready to, I'm still studying, I'm still doing this and that. There are so many projects. I want to get married now, when I'm 20, when I'm 30 years, when I'm 40 years, when I'm 35 years, I'll get married. No, fibroid will be walking around. That fibroid seed that has been there as a seed, we start keep growing, we keep growing, we keep growing, and then it can lead to infertility. By the time you are now saying you are now ready, the fibroid has occupied a place, which is not good, not right. So, women, timing is very, very important. The ovaries have timing. That's why even when you get pregnant by 35 years, 38 years, the doctor will say, abroad, once you are getting pregnant for the first time, you are past 35 years, you say you are relatively old, call them old primary. Old primary, CS. They say, oh, you need CS. In fact, that's what our textbook states. In fact, some women have rejected it, and I pray with them. Yes, so we both said we must do CS for you after 36 years. But the women, they said no, and they delivered. When it was labor, and they delivered. But it's sizable number. You see, when they work with facts, they find that if 80% of people are 36 years and above, many of them, they were ending up as CS. If you don't generalize it, that means 36 years and above, they must do CS. For the first time, they are getting pregnant for the first time because maybe they get pregnant again. Because you find out that able to get pregnant again might be that only one. Because delivery, passing through normal delivery is in fact is risky. The baby can be weak, the baby can even die in the course. But CS now is so easy now. You just be spinal anesthesia. You open your eyes, you are seeing what is going on. And then even the knife that is being used, everything has been like technology now, like a pen to open the womb. So it's 30 minutes, well, less than 30 minutes, maybe it's out. It's just that you don't bring it down the pain, even the pain after the injection, and it can be taken. So a lot of women have said, no, I reject it, I don't want that. I know that we have ended in another hospital or any facilities with negative effects. So when you doctor, whenever you are pregnant, please visit. If it's a private, there is a gynecologist there, or government hospital, because you've seen, that's another health issue I'm talking about now. Go to the right place. Please, a lot of people get pregnant, they are in labor, they now have to refer from private hospital to another place. Whereas a baby, prolonged labor, the baby is already weak. By the time you get to general hospital, the emergency they have on ground, you may not even do it until the next day. So when the baby will be weaker and weaker, by the time they even do the CS or whatever, the baby can just die. So go to a good hospital, this is a good hospital. Watch your body. The Bible says, watch and pray. Watch your body well. Eat healthy foods, healthy lifestyles. It's very important. And you have to. Lastly, I want to talk about this. Women too, as our mental health expert said. This woman that was sitting there, she mentioned something that she was being pressurized to perform, and then she failed because her life has been programmed in such a way that she was just failing. And we mothers too. It's very important what you say, because words are like power. There's power in the word. Don't compare your child. Oh, you failed. Comparing to another child. You are not performing well in school and all that. It's not right. we African mothers, we are so tricky. We are so hard on our children. We are so harsh on them to do the right thing all the time. So you must have a way in which you talk to them in a nice way. You all know that even the Bible says, fear the rod and then spoil the child. You have to discipline them appropriately. But using words, negative words like that, in fact, cursing. Curse is not good. You curse the child, this thing can have impact into their life. You can alter them. So we must have a way. Always speak good, speak well, speak with grace. It's in the Bible, let your speech be seasoned with grace. You know how to speak it, even one another here. So it is very, very important. So I wish, above everything, that you prosper in health as a soul prosperous in the name of Jesus.
Because of the way I was, of the dilation and everything, he said, this one is not ready. You are not ready for this pushing. Immediately they had to take me to it. And then I was even happy because in 13 minutes, I was, their brother was baby. Yes, and then I was okay. So, it was a good option for me anyway, and thank God I went through that process. So a lot of times you talk to me and say, yes, God forbid, it's actually good for some people. For me, it was good for me, and it was even a preferred choice. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Your first question about the emotions.
Yes.
On fibroid growth. That has nothing to do with fibroid at all. It has nothing to do with it. Our bodies are different. The way fibroid will grow in, we don't have a problem. The way fibroid will grow in Mrs. A is different from how it will grow in Mrs. B. You understand? The fibroid growth depends on our body. Actually, some grow rapidly. Some can stay there for years, but lifetime it will remain the same size. So also has nothing to do with it. The use of the basics as you say. Then you have to know that fruit smile. Hey. So the use of the fruit smile. So when your baby, you want to stop breastfeeding, use of Lasix. That Lasix can be a very dangerous drug. It is to treat people with hypertension. It makes you to urinate more and more. So when you urinate, you lose fluids out of your body. You can cry if there is any fluid in your body like depressed. So the blue dose that you are usually 20 milligram, not even 40 milligram. And your blood pressure has to be checked. If you are someone with very low blood pressure like 80-50, 90-50, better don't use it at all. So it can cause low blood pressure. And low blood pressure is very, very dangerous. Hypotension can even make someone collapse. So then as you said about storing of the breast milk. The breast milk can be stored. It doesn't spoil easily. So far as it is refrigerated 2 to 8 degrees centigrade in the fridge, just keep it there. It's just that you won't use it the next day. The next day you should produce another one, ideally for 12 hours. Just for 12 hours. You can pump as many and store. Well, in hygienic, just that the person who is going to give your baby this breast milk that you've expressed, you have to wash the hands and then be careful not to touch. In fact, use of the feeding bottles is not ideal. Use of a spoon, even not plastic spoon, the stainless. The stainless washes them off quickly. They don't stick, unlike the plastics. So the stainless spoons and cup is better to give your baby than the plastics. It is safe. It is safe. The breast milk doesn't spoil easily that. And refrigerate it. You keep it there for hours and then use. So that the next day you produce another one. So that is it. And lastly, then we talk about, can you remind me? Breastfeeding. Breastfeeding is good for the body. It's actually protective. Breastfeeding is protective. It has many health benefits. both for the baby, brain development, general development, even you also protect against cancers. So breastfeeding is very, very ideal. Mother then you were breastfeeding up to how many have you breastfeed not up to a year, you are complaining now. Our mother breastfed us for about 2 years. In those days, though they were not really the high working class then. And all they were like now, 2 months you must return back to office. So we must find a way of breast milk substitute, like formulas to complement. That's how the lifestyle now has gotten us.
Last question, man. Last.
Once you are from 35 years, you find that your labor, you don't labor normally. 80% will end up as CS. And then also the placenta, the lipo, everything does not form well. There is high risk of stillbirth also for people. Yes, and that because your cells are like a little bit on the older side. They are old, they are aged. The labor usually does not progress well. They don't progress well. That's why doctor, instead of waiting till when you now need it, to avoid havoc, better you just do CS before you go into labor. As men are prone to hypertension, diabetes, you two must find time. You must have. I will come one day and check your blood pressure. It's very. Don't say I'm okay and all that. You can go to some pharmacy. You never have it.
We bought the machine.
You bought the machine. It's very good. Please check your blood pressure. Your blood pressure is very, very important. And then your blood sugar. Some are prone. If you're fasting blood sugar, suppose now if you want to do it, you won't eat from 8 p.m. this night till 8 a.m. the next day. 12 hours. You do your blood sugar. If it is over 100, it is dangerous. It's not a diabetic level, but that means you are prone to diabetes. Please, your blood sugar, your blood pressure, they are very important. Exercise is very important too. I know a lot of women do exercise. Even your cooking, going to market is even exercise. Washing clothes by yourself manually, mopping the floor. You can do that once in a maybe weekends or weekday. But if you go to work, you won't have time to even exercise. Even use of skipping ropes regularly at home is exercise. And at night, try to be more mobile. Instead of sitting down watching your Z World or whatever, or Telemundo, sitting down for hours, you must try to move your body every 20 minutes. Move your body. And this use of our cell phone is another hazard, can be hazardous. You spend a lot of time on these things, and always after 20 minutes, just look around because it can stop your sight. A lot of people are having their sight. Yes, this use of phones, and the new ones now are coming with this blue light filter. If you have a blue light filter, it is better. It is better you use it. And you must incorporate prayers into your life. It is very important. Even at night, you must pray. Pray with your husband every day and your children at home before you go to sleep. Even if you just do praise worship, 1 or 2 praise worship, do it at night before you sleep. It is very important, and use God's promises on yourself, because every day I see women dying, even from childbirth, because of maternal mortality, of cancers, of the cervix, of the breast. Those are the 2 cancers that are killing women, and it's dangerous. Even the fibroid tube is another health issue. Please take all these precautions, and by the grace of God, continue to live and wish, as Paul said, above all things that you shall prosper in health as your soul prosperity. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. A few questions. Sorry, sir. We should just start.
Praise God. Thank you, Doctor, for the teaching for today. Okay, the thing is, when it comes to things like this, most times I do search, go to Google and so many things. But at the same time, you still get some broadcasts for some people, don't eat this, don't eat that, don't do this, don't do that. Please, initially when it now comes to this cervix cancer, part of it was using soap to wash the vagina, which we have to stop using. But at the time I just like, now wow, our mothers then, they use this soap to wash us and stuff, and even me as a girl, I learned it, I do it and stuff. So why now, why is it that it's this soap we are asked not to use again? And this vaginal thing most times smells, discharge and stuff and everything. And it's also advisable not to always like go for medication as in taking drugs most times, especially antibiotics, because they have their levels. Some will kill the bacteria, some will retain the bacteria and stuff, which most times I do my own natural remedy stuff with either garlic, vinegar, or soap. So that is on the other side. Then the one for the breast cancer also that I read about was that, especially for married couples, that it's always good for the man to always massage and suck the breast. Because most of us don't do this checkup every morning and things like that. So if your husband is able to, like before having the sex, was able to massage your breast for you, suck it and stuff, it helps to, in a way, detect if you're having a lumps or something like that. But most women don't allow it. So the question is just that how true are this? And on the other stuff of this microwave of a thing, don't eat microwave food, don't do this. So I know some of them are bad. But for people that are working class people, and most of us that take food to work, before you eat it, it's cold and you need to rewarm it and things like that. What do you advise?
Any more questions? Where do I start? Let me answer. Yes, you talk about the vaginal washing soap. Yes, even there's cancer of the vagina. It's a horrible thing. So many factors have been identified. Like I said, I listed so many risk factors. It doesn't mean that someone can be that the vagina, this thing, cancers, that you say, use of soap. No, those things that happens in the past, when our mothers, our fathers, they were living longer and more healthier than now. Even the air they breathe in, there's climate change now that has made our bodies prone to all these diseases. In the past, you have more of oxygen, the ozone layer. Most trees now, forests have been destroyed in the interest of building, expanding due to population explosion. So you find that the oxygen they were breathing then is different from now, the level. So their bodies were able to cope with insult, like cancer formation, than now. So that soap we talked about, it just some people find out that some group of people, they found out they had these cancers because they were using soap to wash. So I advise that one should avoid using soap, just use ordinary water. Even the soap, as I said, there are bacteria, there are germs in the vagina, in the cervix, that are normally they habit there. That is their habitation. They even fight off infections, other germs from outside. They kill them, so they maintain the normal flora, the normal bacteria there. So use of water is encouraged. You should use that instead of soap. So disease from using soap, please. That one is, all these soaps are chemicals, especially this medicated soap. They are all chemicals. Then our mothers, the kind of soap they were using, then this black soap. In fact, the black soap, doodles and all that, these are natural. With honey, than in the past. Even the creams they were using then, Ori, also Ori. This Ori is shea butter, coconut oil. All these are natural. There is all sorts of natural, but now they have a lot of creams in the society. Now, even medicated soap, it wasn't rampant then. All the medicated soap, all the medicated, we are not using. So the black soap is even more natural. It's organic than all these inorganic things. So the natural soap is, you can use that. Then the breast tissue, yes, they find out that it's a study done. We
Igbo people, I mean, those in the Western world, they are even doing a study right now. There are foundation, breast cancer foundation, cervical cancer foundation, that are working tirelessly now, and they come up with so many journals and recommendations for us to apply to our body. So sucking, massaging, let your husband massage and detect if there is any area, this thing feels sad, this area feels sad, please, maybe a warning sign of breast cancer. Sometimes, but not during, when you are breastfeeding, the breast can feel lumpy and all that, so that one is normal. Until you stop breastfeeding before you can feel any lump. But generally, that's why I say breastfeeding, the baby sucking breast continually for not exclusive breastfeeding is an anti-cancer. It kills off cancer cells. It reduces your risk of getting cancer. Breast sucking, breast massaging and all that, it actually reduces your risk. A study was done and found that it's actually true, and you can apply it to your life also. That is normal. Then you talk about microwave. That one is, I mean, you know, there are some technologies that are dangerous. Even this phone is dangerous. Even use of this thing. You know that use of this thing, it uses these electromagnetic waves. In the kitchen, you can interact with any gas leakage and cause explosion. It has actually happened. Don't use your phone in the kitchen, please. You should avoid it. Sometimes, phone call, mommy, phone call, take your phone and you're having, it can cause blast. It has happened. Go to ENNOBI, go to all these big hospitals, it has happened. Explosion. Some even they are charging the phone nearby. Some are so addicted that the phone, they put it beside them and they sleep off, charging it there. It is very, very harmful.
When my phone is on my bed, I don't sleep, I don't know the connection, I don't really sleep. If my phone is on my bed, I don't sleep well if it's on my bed.
Okay. Alright.
So I take it
It's dangerous.
out of my reach when I want to sleep. I put it on silent. So I have no connection with the phone when I'm on the bed.
Exactly. So you should avoid that. Close contact with your phone. Get it away. Put it on the table or chair or whatever, away from your area. And don't use it in the kitchen. These things are high charged. They are charged. They can cause problems. They can cause explosion as it is. It's like a time bomb. But you need to control the use. Use it wisely. Don't know. These technologies are very dangerous. All this microwave and all that, these advanced technological things, they have negative effects. It actually denatures the food. The molecules, the multivitamin, gone. With your microwave, the multivitamin there is gone. I can tell you that it's not healthy. You should avoid it as much as well. As I said, well, being in the office, there is no way you can go and use the gas cooker and all that. It's microwave, even in my office too. It's microwave. But I try to avoid using it as much as well. I still use it occasionally, but not all the time. Not all the time. I try to avoid it. You know, I take fruits. I won't start myself. The next day until I get home. I don't have it at home. I don't use it at home. I ban it from home. So avoid using it. It is not healthy. That is the verdict. Thank you. Okay.
On fibroid,
Yes.
I learned that when some women, the fibroids are removed and they don't get pregnant within the next 3 or 6 months, might come back and cause. How do you get that?
Okay. All right. Well, it's actually true that the rest of your body, actually, there are some fibroids that we've had. They are not that common, but it does occur that after fibroid removal, the thing grew up again in a very bigger way that the woman must need another fibroid operation. So that's why after the fibroid operation, within 6 months, try to get pregnant. Because pregnancy actually, pregnancy actually removes the fibroid effect, removes the root. So it is an established fact, as you have said, it can grow back again. But in the way it will grow in Mrs. A will be different. It can be different from Mrs. B.
it may say it may not even grow again for several years. You cannot find the growth, whereas in Mrs. B it tends to grow faster. So our bodies are different. Some fibroids grow at a faster rate in some bodies than in others. But it's good as pregnancy is the resort to sort it out.
When you mentioned cervical cancer, you said something about endometrial cancer. It seems that endometriosis is different.
No, you cannot. I can't go in details. All health issues and all that because of time constraints. Endometriosis now is a different diagnosis entirely. It is fairly common, not as common as fibroid or cervical cancer or endometrial cancer. Endometrial cancer is cancer of the womb. It's usually commoner in women who, after menopause, 10 years of not menstruating or started bleeding. That means the womb is getting cancerous. The womb is getting endometriosis is the lining of the womb. There is a lining inside the womb called endometrium. It is only found in the womb, in the uterus. When it is now found in other areas of the body, that one is a disease state. It can be found in the ovary, in the fallopian tube, even in the vagina, even in the lungs, even in the stomach, and there will be bleeding. Somebody coughing up blood, you find out that endometriosis has occurred, and that endometriosis is another cause of infertility. The endometrium is a special lining. It's a special lining in the womb. It is inside the womb, or sometimes it is found inside the muscle of the womb itself. It makes the womb so hard, like a fibroid. So that one is a disease entity. It's one of the causes of infertility.
My next question. My question is, you said when a woman is approaching age 36 and her fertility rate drops. Now, some gynecologists can recommend fertility drugs. So how does it really help?
Well, what I mean is that, for the first time, getting pregnant at 36 years, the person may not likely, the ability to get pregnant again is lower after 36 years. Doesn't mean that after years, or if you are 36 years, you've had deliveries before, then you can be getting pregnant, your body is already